Hey there, guys. I haven't done a video on writing tips for a hell of a long time, so I thought I better rectify that little issue and do one. I write period westerns and historical fiction. I've written three novels, two of which have been published by a traditional publisher I had out of the UK. We have since parted ways over the last couple of years, which is normal, of course. My books are still available on Amazon in audio form only. The Brethren Elders and The Fine Line and one of my short stories, A Wounded Horse, are still available on Amazon. But I've had people ask me, so you write westerns? Who's your favorite author? And how many Western books have you read? Well, I don't have a favorite author, and I've only read three Westerns in my whole life. One was Louis L'Amour when I was a kid, called To Tame a Land. And the other one when I was a little bit older, maybe 14, 15, something like that, I read Ombre, which was a phenomenal movie with Paul Newman. Um, and then I read, much later, of course, Larry McMurtry's Lonesome Dove after I watched the TV series. Those are the only three westerns I've ever read, and I don't like reading westerns. I'm extremely fussy about authenticity, and like I've had a few videos before talking about how silly I think some of the character names are that some of these authors use. Like my wife came up with a couple of good ones. She said if there was a couple of brothers out there, one would be Contrail and his brother would be Chem. you know, I mean, it's just ridiculous. I've never liked that kind of stuff. I mean, nicknames are fine, for guys, for cowboys and gunmen and stuff like that, which were common back then. But for those names that are, like typical Jubal or something like that, like, Jesus, don't do that to your westerns. Nothing dates it more than putting those type of silly names in there. But anyway, kind of getting off topic a bit. So people want to know who I read and what author I like. Well, my favorite author, and I've read 20 of his books, is John Grisham. And I am not at all into lawyer stuff or courtroom stuff or that kind of thing at all. But when I read John Grisham, his writing just absolutely captures me. And of course, as you can imagine, I try to write in his style as well when I do my writing. And that man's claim to fame, I'm sure, is just the fact that he keeps the story so simple. He he tells the story very, very simple. The story might be complicated, but he tells the story very simply, uh, very much in layman's terms. And another thing I like about John Grisham is that when there is violence, it is not gratuitous and it's not overplayed at all. Now, in my westerns, of course, in the Brethren Elders and the Fine Line and A Wounded Horse, the short story, westerns, of course, are going to be a little more violent simply because of the theme that they are. But I try to not be overly graphic. Violence, of course, in those books in that genre is necessary, but I do try to keep it just what is necessary. And again, I try to just tell the story as simply as possible. I don't go overboard with descriptions of the landscape and all that kind of stuff for 3 pages that everybody admits they just skip over anyway. I don't do that. And one more thing. I am writing right now my fourth novel. I have written I have finished a novel that I haven't got published yet, and it's more of a contemporary Western slash young adult slash spiritual slash uh, whatever. It's a neat story. Um, but I am right now in the process of writing another Western, and just to kind of give you an example of how I'm really trying to keep the violence down. I'm on about, I think, the 12 or 13th chapter in this new Western that I'm writing, and just now I've had my first real time killing. That's not to say there hasn't been mentions of killings in the past of this main character and such, but this is the first real time killing I've had in this novel, and this Western is set in 1899. It's going to be titled Virgil Plummer, Texas Ranger. And this Texas Ranger is about 48 years old, and he is completely insane. So it's a pretty neat premise for a story I've got here, I believe. And it's with the way I'm trying to write it, it's almost more of a psychological thriller. So I'm pretty excited about this one, but that's my latest one. Anyway, I thought I'd just give you that little quick one on writing and that of who I've read and who I enjoy reading, and it's John Grisham for me. I can't put the books down when he when I pick up one of his books. I can't. It's just amazing. The man's amazing. So if you get a chance, check out John Grisham, whether you're into that genre or not. He's a remarkable writer, and I just love his stuff. Anyway, that's it for now. I'll get back to doing some picking here pretty quick and go on with some music videos. Anyway, have the best day you can, guys.